Hey, what's up? My name's Samuel Leeds, and on this Thoughtful Thursday, I brought a good friend onto the show, Darren Galvin. And Darren Galvin is the founder of the Property app, and we're going to talk today about business, starting a business. So, Darren, great to have you on the show.
Thank you, Samuel.
Thanks for coming down. Talk to me about what you do and how you got started, and just give me a bit of background.
So I'm known as the app guy now, and I license social networks to people, anyone who wants them. So like property is one industry, our game, football industry, businesses, brands. I license them so they can have their own social network.
Yeah, apps. What is an app?
It's an amazing tool that many people don't even realize how powerful it is. I mean, everyone has phones, right? I mean, all right, okay. Maybe I've got to put a proper statistic on that, 97% or something. Nearly everyone has phones in their pocket all the time, with push notifications going all the time. And is the best form of communication, and people just miss it. Like, email rates are at the worst they've ever been.
Because the thing is, right, I am a property entrepreneur, and I make a lot of money in property, as you know, because we're mates. But I'm also a businessman.
Yes.
And I'm always looking for new opportunities, to reach as many people as I can, to make as much money as I can, to add value to people. So I'm running a property business, but I'm also a business owner. I have a construction development training business, and you're a really good businessman. And I think what you've done with the niche that you've seen is really cool. So I think the reason I brought you on today, to get to know you a little bit, and the where you came from is a great story, but also just to share some nuggets for people, because I feel like people in the property industry sometimes get so stuck in a rut. Like, I have to make money through rent to rent, or through HMOs, or through, whereas what you've done, which is so cool, is you started going to some property networking events, and you just thought, how can I add value to these people? How can I, and that is the true question of an entrepreneur. A true question of an entrepreneur should be, how can I add value? Albert Einstein, Albert Einstein, who doesn't? He said, don't try and be successful, try and be valuable. What do you think of that?
I totally agree with it. And ever since being a kid, like, you can go far back as my school years, I've always been that, like, how can I improve it? Even when, like, I left school very early, no GCSEs, complete failure in school. It was just not for me. Working on a factory line was my life. That was what I did. And I'm looking at the factory line and I'm going, how can we improve this? Because this is just ridiculous. But I was always held back by the thing is, it's just not me. Like, I'm the minimum wage worker. I can't go and change this. It's not for me to do. It's for someone else to do.
Right.
And I lived that life for a long time. Like, I could look at the factory machine and go, with what, probably £500,000, I could improve that and probably save this company 5, 6, 7 million just by looking at the machine, knowing what I could do. But I always felt limited because I couldn't do it. So I just carried on my life like this, doing all these things, all these jobs and everything. And every time I looked at them, I say, I can make this better. But I'm never able to, because I can't even get so much as an overdraft on my bank because I'm a minimum wage worker. And, I wasn't paying my bills very well, and council tax was falling behind. I moved out at like 15 years old. It was hard.
But that's either going to make you bitter and frustrated, or make you a true champion entrepreneur. Because, I mean, I love what you said about how you spot something and say, someone needs to do something. I mean, I often say, if you want to know what your purpose is in life, your calling and your purpose in life is to do the things that you moan about.
Yeah, it is, 100%.
Or when you see an opportunity, rather than saying, someone should do this, here would be a good idea for someone, is to say, I'm doing that. And it's the same with, like, we do a lot of charitable works. If I see something, whether it's homelessness in this country, whether it's people starving or with no water out in a developing country, rather than saying, oh, isn't that terrible? Someone should. I really believe, man, we're the people we've been waiting for.
And
whether that's creating the next best app, whether that's creating the next best business, a charity, a social enterprise, whether it's just being a better landlord, a better parent. If you've seen something and you think someone should do that, it's because you've got to do it.
I think for a lot of people as well, they get this blockage that say that can't be done. And I'm a real believer in possibilities, like, massively. some of the amounts we've saved clients over recently has been unbelievable, because it's been accepted. These are industry percentages, like sales percentages at 25% when you're selling from stage, like 75% people walking away from your business. I mean, why would you allow that to happen? You can stop that from happening with technology. And what I find is I kind of have to go undercover a little bit to actually get in the inside and see what's going on.
What do you mean undercover?
Well, like I've taken up martial arts, because we've got the martial arts lab, Gordon Bircham, he's licensed that, and I want to make it better. So twofold, I want to really spend some more time with my family, so we do family martial arts now. But when I'm in there, my God, I can see all the things that we can introduce into the app and how this will make this better, and it's so good to be able to get in there.
Darren, yourself personally, You've been on a massive personal development, personal growth journey the last 12 months. Talk to me about that.
Mate, I have cried my eyes out so many times this year. It's been unbelievable, because like 10 years I just lived, I was doing business, right? And I say doing business, it was not winning at all. I was doing websites, marketing, SEO, underselling myself. Like, I didn't even know that I was underselling myself. And the reason for this, it goes back to that £6 minimum wage, £5, whatever, £5.40, whatever it was I was earning. And I used to, when I then started in business, like I would do SEO contracts, 250, 300 quid a month, and think, hey, I'm doing okay. Now I see people charging £3,000 a month for exactly the same thing, and actually sometimes a lesser standard than I was doing. And I've spent 10 years just like keeping my head above water, struggling, feeling like an entrepreneur, and not being able to get back out of it, because it was a case of I'm in it now and I'm kind of stuck. There's no way I'm going back to a job.
But then you actually were in a job.
Yeah,
because
I was. Yeah,
and you had a horrible boss who was you.
Yeah, 100%. I didn't even pay myself.
Yeah,
like I was a right son to myself.
But that's the thing. People leave jobs. To set up a business. But then really, their new boss is all their clients and themselves. And honestly, mate, I don't know what I'd love to know the stats, but the average self-employed person who thinks they're a business owner, but the average self-employed person that really just owns their own job, there must be less than minimum wage.
Oh, 100%.
Because you've got to do all the invoicing,
much less.
all your own account, and if you want to outsource that to other people, it's going to come out your profits. So most people end up doing everything themselves. They're the marketer, they're the salesperson, they're the technician, they're the deliverer, they're the customer service, they're the accounts and admin, everything. Exactly. Working 120
day and night,
120, 150 hours a week. You know, and if you work out the hourly rate, it's absolutely peanuts. So you were doing that. We met. Like, and I know I was a real key player in sort of helping you turn things around. And I'm really, you know, Darren, I said this to you before. I think people that can honour other people that have helped them along the way, because it's not just me. A lot of people have helped you in your journey, and I've seen you publicly on Facebook and out there. You honour everybody, and you put your success. And you credit so many people for that. I know I'm just one of the people in your awesome story, and I'm real honoured to be that. But you know, when you do that, it's just. I know you do it from a position of just because you've got a good heart, but when you remember where you came from and you honour people that helped you, what happens is they want to help you more.
No, I get that. No, I appreciate that.
It's just awesome. And now I'm saying, come on my YouTube show. Let me get you in front of my guys. Talk about your app, property, awesome app. You know, because of your great nature. So tell them what happened when we met a year ago and how things changed for you.
So. I'll tell you stuff you probably don't even know, actually, Samuel. So when we first met, before that, I was like, I know I can do this. I'd been to a property networking meeting, and I was watching everything going on in the room, thinking there's so many problems that I can solve. I've got the power to do so with tech. But building apps ain't cheap, to be fair. It's really expensive to do. And I'm like, I know that a fully functional social network for property investors is going to be brilliant. And that's what I want to create. So Expert Empires, 2017.
So it's more than a year ago now.
Yeah.
It's like coming up to 2 years.
Yeah. So that was when I first ever had my moment of like, you know what, I'm going to go along. And I was a bit anti-coaching, for the record, anti-coaching and anti-mentorship. And that was just me full of my own problems because I didn't have a clue that that's what I needed. Plus, if I'm honest, because I was so broke, like literally watching everyone else doing it, it hurt more. It was like, you know, just, I can't do that stuff, man. And just like, that doesn't work. Like, like I'm an advocate of mentorship now because of this, because I've been through it. So, I remember it was a Capital One credit card or a Vanquish, one of them. Like they were all hiked up, and I bought the ticket, and I thought, you know what, I'm going VIP ticket. I went the top level because, and I'm glad I did, because that's why I'm sat here today. Because I decided to put myself in a position that is actually going to get results.
Yeah.
You know, there was the winning point for me was Nick James had put the dinner the night before, which is where we met. And I thought, you know what, if I don't meet someone there who would be able to help me, give me a bit of advice, then like I'll be very surprised. So I did that. And we were talking, and I was talking a little bit around the table about the property side of things. And I'll be honest, I was like a little bit of a nervous wreck, like, because I was just little Darren, like, that's sitting there.
But no one else knows that.
No, well, you know what?
As in your mind, right? Yeah. It's your little voice.
Yeah, it was absolutely my little voice. But I thought, who am I? Who am I to sit here talking to millionaires round the table that are doing extremely well, that are just going to look and think, well, you know what, it's just little Darren. But you were completely different, you know, your kind nature. We had that chat. And I kind of left it there because I didn't really want to feel like this a big hard pitch the moment we met. Like, I don't like doing that, you know? So then I was up all night thinking about, like, how can I talk to Samuel about this? Because like, he knows everything about property. He's doing really well in property. And actually, he might want to get involved in all this. So I think it was breakfast or it was lunch or something when we sat down
the next day, yeah.
And he said, show me this app. Show me this app, he said. And I genuinely wanted to die because what I had of the app was the worst prototype you could possibly show anyone. It was like, it was just awful. It's like, you know, someone's creating an aeroplane and like this one doesn't fly, but it will eventually. Yeah, that's right. What it was like. And I pulled this app out of my pocket, and I said, well, this is what it does, and it just has articles in it about property. Yeah, well, why don't you get it out there? I said, I can't, Samuel, I can't get that out there now. Like, I want it to be a fully functional social network. And that's all I wanted. I can't afford to do it. What am I going to do? I just get it out there. No one's going to want this. Like, look at it. He said, just get it out there. And it took hearing it from you to go, like, he's telling me just to get it out there. And I respected what you said.
Because if I remember, sorry to cut you in there.
No, cool.
But if I remember, the app, you were saying this is the starting point, and you said to me, this is like 1% done.
Yeah. And
you were saying, when it's fully done, I'm going to sell it for a fortune, and I'm going to try, and that's when I'm going to make my money.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, man, you're doing it completely the wrong way. Because if you spend 2 years and put your life savings into making this brilliant thing, there's no guarantee that anyone wants it.
No, that's right.
You don't have a buyer.
Yeah. And that's the thing. And I learned that because, again, when I first got it out there, I had to publicly shout about it. I had to get people in. And I was a bit embarrassed getting people in. But what actually happened, which was a massive turning point for me, was people kind of, I think they respected the fact that I just did it.
Yeah.
And that it was crap at the beginning. And, you know,
it wasn't crap, it was small.
Small, yeah, okay. It was small, but it was also a little bit crap because there was things that didn't work.
It was small and crap.
There was things that necessarily didn't always work because like, the tech is a really complicated matter, you know, apps is really complicated. And it dawned on me once when someone said to me, one of my app license holders now, Cole Mahay, and he said to me, that's actually quite good. Yeah. And I thought, you added the word actually in there, which tells me you didn't think it would be, which I get because, like, again, you just came from nowhere, was just, and as well, prior to this, I was doing everything. So I was one of these people that was doing websites, marketing, SEO. I started writing a book because I saw everyone else doing it and I didn't have a clue what I was doing. GDPR came out and started training that because I knew a bit about it or wanting to do anything I could do just to get the money to try and bring this dream to life. Yeah. So I lost credibility in terms of what I can potentially do moving forward. Anyway, so long story short, I had the burn, right? And I describe this to people, the burn in the gut, that you'll only know you get when you get it. Because for me, there's two ways of looking at it. Someone says, oh, you can do it, right? And you go, yeah, I can do it. that's nothing. Like, that means nothing. But when you get that burn and you go, do you know what, I can do that. And it does take someone like you to just go and do it. And then you get that burn. Like, I felt the burn.
Yeah.
And nothing is going to stop me. And I went out, and all I could access was Banquist, Aqua, and Capital One. And I'm an advocate of saying don't touch them, because like, they're really high interest credit cards. But I did it at the time because I had to. That's what I did. Now, it's taken a lot to pull out from that, but I made the plunge, and I had to invest in the technology of what we had. So it was like 5-10 grand just to get it out there.
Yeah.
And now, like, it's 250.
But to get where you wanted to get it to, it could have cost millions.
Oh, 100%, yeah. And as well, like, you know, everyone has ideas, right? And all day long you can go to investors and, you know, and you can say, I've got this idea for an app.
Yeah.
The realism is they're not likely to go near you if you haven't got much in the way of credibility and you haven't built that up in the first place.
Absolutely.
And you've actually got something. If you go out there and just do something, and this relates to property as well, if you actually do something and be seen doing something, then people will invest in you.
Absolutely. Tell the world what you're doing.
Yeah.
And I say this to new start property investors. Most people, they want to be a property investor, and their plan is to be like a secret property investor.
Yeah.
And to quietly get on with it. And then when they're really successful and they become financially free or whatever, ta-da! Yeah. And in the same way, business people, I'm going to quietly make this brilliant app, and I'm going to do it in secret, and I'm going to invest all my money into it, and I'm going to spend 3 years of my life, and then when it's perfect, then I'm going to be rich. And it doesn't work like that.
I know someone, and this is why I do what I do. So what I do now is I license the technology to other people so they can have their own social media.
Yeah.
Because I know somebody that spent £200,000 on an app. And the problem is, what they don't get is that apps go stale very, very quickly. Because if you spend £200,000 on an app, it's great for now, but in 6 months, when there's more devices out and you haven't actually tailored it to suit the new devices, what do you do then? That's why I've formed the business model that I say, look, if you want an app, have an app, but we'll license you our technology, which we pledge then to, we actually upgrade it and keep it maintained. There is a service fee linked to it, but that's what we do, so constantly. So you never have to worry about all that. And I've seen so many people just plunge money, and that could have been me. I mean, if I'd managed to get the 200 grand.
Yeah.
But imagine where I'd be now. Like, that wouldn't have been a good place, you know?
But here's the thing, right? And by the way, I know you went to say a minute ago, this last year, what did your app business turn over?
250k in the first year.
In the first year?
Yeah, in the first year.
How about last year, the second year?
It's been valued multi-7 figures now.
7 figures, bro.
Yeah.
And you made $250,000 profit, right?
125 in the first year.
And is it the first year just gone? Or
yeah, just first year. We're just in the second year.
What you predicted to make this year or turnover?
Easily. Well, I mean, we've got investors now, so we're at a stage where we're getting seed investment. So you're familiar with Seeders, the crowd investment platform. So we're meeting them in July, and we're looking at investment between 800,000 to 1.2 million.
Wow.
We're going to get a lead investor to kick that fund off. So this enables anybody to get in, which just takes the numbers to another level.
So the bottom line is, you know, we can dissect all the numbers, but it's undeniably successful.
Yeah.
Like, you can't say your app business now, property, is not successful, because last year you turned over $250,000.
Yeah.
You made 50% net profit, £125,000 profit. This year predictably more. It's been valued at 7 figures.
Yeah.
Undeniably successful. What have been the lessons in setting it up and learning as a result of the last couple of years?
So the biggest one, I would say, is just the whole Richard Branson mantra of just say yes and worry about it later.
Yeah.
Like, realistically, when did we speak about me coming? Yesterday.
Yeah.
Right? I had things in my diary. I'm like, worry about that later.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. I messaged you last night on Facebook.
My car is in the garage. Like, I'm not even sure I can get there. I'll worry about that later. 8 o'clock in the morning, ring. Is my car ready? No. Okay. Well, I need a car. Give me a car. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And anyway, it was, you know, that's one of my biggest lessons. The other one has to be mentorship, you know, and I've got to credit Nick James for that, because you know the work I've done with him.
Top guy, friend of mine.
100%. And Matt Elwell, you know, the both of them. We've invested significantly, and if you had said to me a year ago, you're going to spend what you spend on your mentorship, I would have gone, no mate, not in a million years am I ever giving someone that much money. But I don't even look at it now. It doesn't even bother me because like what I invest, I get back tenfold.
Yeah.
And I know that because it's quality mentorship. And you know, I think as well, it's a bit more than just quality mentorship. It's actually, there's a lot of respect. Like, you know, they go out of their way to help you.
Yeah.
So I believe in that. I believe in getting a quality mentor, 100%, all the way down the middle, but someone who cares about what they're doing.
Yeah.
And that's important to me. Yeah.
I love that. I think from what I've picked up of what you've done, some of the lessons as well, and I said this to you that when we met, just build an audience.
Yeah.
You know, build an audience. You said you damaged your credibility a little bit by trying to sell stuff that weren't particularly amazing, weren't really on point with what you're doing. But then you helped your brand by doing stuff like you got Grant Cardone on your show.
Yeah, I know.
That's massive.
I don't even know how that happened. But
and how much did you pay to have Grant on your show?
Nothing.
No.
I
didn't pay anything to have Grant Cardone on my show either.
A good friend of ours did though.
A good friend of ours did.
About a week later.
Yeah, like £100,000.
Yeah.
So people pay £100,000 to have Grant on their show.
Yeah.
We didn't pay anything, and the reason we didn't pay anything was because we've got an audience.
Yeah.
You know. Secondly, I think before you try and create something, before you spend 2 years trying to create something to then sell it, and I said this to you when we met, sell it first, then create it.
100%.
Because you could create something that no one wants.
Yeah.
So, whereas if you sell something first, like, for instance, you say, right, I'm going to write a book on such and such. I'm going to write a book on property investing. This is the title, £10, who wants in? You can even take people's money from them.
Yeah.
£10,
Yeah.
pre-order it.
Yeah.
If 2 people do,
then you know.
you're going to say, you know what, guys, here's a full refund, I'm really sorry.
Yeah.
If 1,000 people do, then it's like, right, I'll write the book now.
And that's a really important point as well, because that's another point I think is so important, is your integrity, your credibility to a T. If you do that and you try to write a book and you get orders, give the bloody money back if it didn't work.
Oh, of course.
Like, you know that, I know that, but so many people don't. They would spend it first and I haven't got it. And all right, we're talking a tenner book, but this is other types of investment.
Yeah.
So many people get investment in and then they like, I'm not, and they just carry on doing it, and it's just wrong. Like the moment you start doing that, there's a problem.
But there's nothing unethical about selling something
not
before creating
not
it,
at all.
as long as you do, as long as you create it and then deliver it in full, all you're doing is you're adding value, because instead of you being so arrogant to say, I know what the marketplace wants. The marketplace would love an app like this. No. You know what? I don't know what they want. So I'm just going to ask them what they want. I'm going to build my audience, and I'm going to ask them, and then when they tell me, then I'm going to create it. Or even sell it and create it. But be upfront and honest. You know, and just get on with it.
And even, I mean, at least get a feel for it. Like, I mean, the Elite Closing Academy, as we know, Matt Elwell, so we're working with him at the moment, creating his social network. And we're doing this, I really believe in retention of trainings. You know, so if you get trained and you walk away and you forget everything, then what was the point in doing it in the first place? So we're putting in a quiz in the app so that you can sort out the levels of training. You can actually grade the training you had, you can grade within the app. But I think it's an amazing idea, by the way. So I put it out there asking people first, how would you find this beneficial, to scale of 1 to 10, you know? And like 9, 10, 9, 10, 9, 10. I'm like, I'm onto it. Like that's happening. I'm chucking my money in there.
I always do it. I was thinking about the idea of, on our Facebook group, offering a thread where people can sell property deals to one another. I didn't just do it. I posted, what do you guys think of this idea? And then I'm currently processing the feedback. Some said good, some said bad. I got to weigh it up. But in business, ask people what they want, and then
you can get clouded, can't you? You can get really clouded into believing. Like I've done it many a times, by the way, where you just believe that like this is definitely what people want, and then
they don't.
They don't. It's like that's not good. That's not good at all.
Imagine imagine you'd never create a big car company would never just create a car randomly and then just go ta-da. They do their research. They find out what people want. So
the basic level stuff.
So what's next then for you in business?
Oh, well, like I said, the investment is the biggest thing for us at the moment. And it's something that like I didn't know was coming, and I've just gone, it's going to take us to another level. I want to really just empower people massively with having their own social networks, because one of the things I admire about you is you can get your message out, and I really do watch the content you put out there and the way it's delivered, because that's what I'm now doing a lot of. because data, like there's a reason why social media giants are worth billions. There is a reason, and that is because of data. And I understand data at a level that many don't now, because I've got our own social networks. I see what goes on, and I know that you can serve clients at a level that has never been possible, ever, like never possible before. Because like for example, if you want to serve your clients in the right way, you know, YouTube, people watching on it, the person who's got a YouTube channel knows how many views they get, they know the duration, but what they don't know is who is actually engaging with that video. And I know that, and I can serve that to people. So that's the message that I'm really wanting to get out there to people, because when you have that data, you can serve them in a way that's never been possible before, and where the giants don't want you to have that information.
Yeah,
so
that's great.
And that's my next
Your
message.
property app, what's the biggest benefit of downloading the app?
Do you know what? It's brilliant for having property investors together, right? If you're not interested in property and you download that, you will be the most bored person you'll be in the most bored experience you've ever had, because it's all about property. It's about property legislation, property news, people sharing their journey. There's a few deals getting thrown in there now. You can create a group and bring people into it. And it's just like, it's fun, it's exciting. And there's people doing joint venture deals out of it. You know, just keeping on top of things. We push notify to people. So if you've downloaded the app, it's free to download, by the way. It's Property, just drop the Y. It's in Apple and Google. And you download it, and then if there's some really good news or legislation changes, our office will push through to the notification.
I know, I'm on the app a lot.
Yeah, you're all over it, mate. Your videos are all over it, and people love your content.
Thanks, man.
And by the way, I know exactly who loves your content, because this is what I'm saying. Like, the power behind that app, the people can really be served well. So what we do is, the people that love your content, we serve them more, because what's the point in not, you know? And that's how you get people to get a good experience.
Love that. Well, dude, I'm really proud of what you've done, and I'm really excited to see where you're going to go.
Thank you.
You're a great guy, and I hope you guys watching have learned a lot about business, about mindset, about startups. Screw it, just do it, as Richard Branson would say.
Yeah.
And thanks, man. You're awesome. Peace out.
I'm glad the sun's gone in. Like,
you were going to get sunburned, man.
You had to give me some sun cream before we started, eh?
Guys, I hope you enjoyed that Thoughtful Thursday. That was around business, more so than property this week. If you let me know in the comments below what you want to hear about, who you want to hear from, what topics you want discussed, then drop it in the comments. You tell me, I'll make it happen. Thanks so much for watching. Subscribe. I'll see you next time.